Joker is bisexual, and I'm going to show you how through the conducive evidence in the various depictions of him. If this intro sounds familiar, it's because I made a similar video about Akechi, which you should definitely check out. Like last time, I will not be arguing for the ship's existence, meaning reciprocal feelings, nor will I prescribe any feeling or belief on how good they are together, even though they are made for each other. Well, maybe I will a little bit. In this video, I am simply declaring that Joker is bi. Now that we have that out of the way, let us begin. Before I get into the bulk of the video, I want to start off with something that irks me about people who unshakably believe that Joker is straight. They think that every single line that Joker says or thinks are simply just jokes. Lines similar to the classic "I like men" during shadow negotiation, or the unused Kawakami doubt lines, "I have a girlfriend" and "I have a boyfriend." I have to say that dismissing these lines as just jokes, and not even being able to entertain the idea that these might be tiny nods that allow us to interpret Joker's sexuality as anything beyond straight, is narrow-minded to say the least. I admit that these lines aren't exactly proof, nor am I posturing my interpretation as the absolute one. I am just saying that these lines, and even some scenes, being viewed as just jokes is a strange assumption, given that there is no proof to argue that they are just that. Quite literally, all we have to go by is that these lines are left to interpretation. For all as we know, Joker might see them as jokes, but he also might not. Or it could even be something in the middle, with a bit of humor and a bit of the truth. Frankly, we will never know. However, I do want to say that these lines do provide gaps in the assumption held by many that Joker couldn't be anything but straight. Our first piece of evidence, and perhaps the most blatant in proving Joker's bisexuality, is Persona 5 Tactica. In the game, Joker can talk with the rest of the Phantom Thieves about the ideal marriage. During this conversation, Ryuji asks Joker, "Which one of us would you want to marry if you could?" Rather than being able to exclusively choose between the female party members, Joker is given the option of all of the thieves as potential significant others, excluding Morgana. Similar to the many lines in the previous section, people often interpret this scene as just a joke. And sure, every scene is funny, but that's just the thing. Whether you pick a male or female party member as a potential significant other, the game does well in pointing towards the unique bonds that Joker and them share. Notably, it doesn't castigate or poke fun at the player's choice of Yusuke or Ryuji. Instead, what we're given is scenes that are genuinely sweet and wholesome, and of course a little funny. In Ryuji's scene, he talks about how incredible it is that Joker has been by his side the entire time, and gets frustrated after saying sappy things without him responding. Then the scene turns goofy in Ryuji fashion as he starts talking about the different types of toilet paper. Side note, I really want to mention this really short clip from the Valentine's Day OVA that was brought to my attention when I was making this video. I mean, what is going on between Joker and Ryuji right here? In Yusuke's scene, he stoically says that he and Joker will be bound for life, then lists the 3 keys to a great marriage. This actually draws the ire of Joker after daydreaming, funnily enough. The rest of the Phantom Thieves have similar gags that align with their personalities. In An's scene, she talks about how she's always wanted to eat a cake as tall as her. In Makoto's scene, she interrogates Joker about any secrets he might be keeping. In Futaba's scene, she tells Joker about how Sojiro was a hot mess on the day of the wedding. And in Haru's scene, who's probably the most wholesome, she says that she feels beautiful, almost like some sort of beauty thief. The fact of the matter is that they're all treated as valid choices that the players can make, further opening up Joker's sexuality to interpretations beyond common, rigid assumptions. Quick subscriber break: if you like videos like this and would like to see more in the future, consider subscribing. Alright, now back to the video. Alright, time to address the Akechi-shaped elephant in the room. Here, I'm not going to rehash what I said throughout my Akechi video. I do, however, want to bring up a specific bit of information that I didn't bring up on Joker's side. In Confidant Rank 3, Joker and Akechi meet in a cafe for tea and cakes. Over the course of the meeting, the two are troubled by passerby who recognize Akechi from TV. Lamenting this, Akechi aims to leave before a crowd forms. Joker, however, gets the idea to ruffle his hair and give him glasses. This is quite a funny scene, but if we analyze it a bit further, we can read it as a relatively bold action on Joker's part, given the fact that hair touching is typically reserved for family and romantic partners, especially in Japan. Mind you, Joker's decision to do this isn't up to the player. Let that sink in. In another symbolic gesture, he gives Akechi his glasses. As best put by a post by Akechi here, Joker is being vulnerable by removing his glasses, or his mask, revealing his true self to Akechi as he sits across from him. Akechi adds that while others might not be able to recognize Akechi like this, Joker will be able to see, understand, and accept him. Between this and the third semester, we see Joker spend time with Akechi in a series of dates, unlike other confidants, at the Jazz Gin, Arcade, Bathhouse, and Penguin Sniper, and the Boiler Room. In the Boiler Room, when Akechi sacrifices himself to save the rest of the Phantom Thieves, Joker has two options that ultimately read the same way. You better deliver on your promise, or I'll hold on to your glove. All Akechi responds with is, "You truly are." I also want to mention quickly that in Persona 5 the animation, it is one of the few times that we see Joker truly lose his composure, as we see him slam his fists against the wall. Before finishing up with Persona 5 Royal, I want to return to the OVA I mentioned in the previous video, Persona 5 Proof of Justice. This OVA tells us a lot about how Joker felt about Akechi at this point of the story, following his death in Shido's palace. But beyond that, it shows us that without a shadow of a doubt, that Joker saw Akechi as a counterpart, instead of a villain, or legit someone who tried to murder him. Traveling through his lingering shared memories with Akechi, and chasing the phrase, proof of justice, he finds himself in the locations they frequented. Like the last video, I want to point out that the color grading of the scenes that he spends alone are muted or cool in color. When he reminisces, the scene is comparatively warm in color. These shots and this color grading signifies the warmth that Joker feels when Akechi is around. And conversely, the cooler colors symbolize a world without him being less joyful, less vibrant. When Akechi utters the line, "If only we'd met a few years earlier," Joker's eyes widen and words fail to escape his mouth. Immediately switching scenes to Joker wistfully peering at a ray gun named Proof of Justice through the window of a shop and pressing his hand on the glass. He remains for a while. This scene gives us a tangible look at Joker's grief. Leaving the busy streets of Kichijoji, he reflects on a phrase Akechi uttered, and his eyes quiver. Proof of justice.
You two came to a deep understanding of one another, yet you had no choice but to leave Akechi-kun to his fate. That's why I created a reality where you two could have a fresh start together.
That would mean the Akechi in the real world is...
Get what I'm saying? I genuinely didn't want to tell you like this. I didn't want to make it seem like I'm holding him hostage. But no matter what you may think of me, I just want you all to accept this reality and move on with your happy lives.
And that matters how, exactly? Don't tell me you think dangling my life before us is going to have any impact on our decision.
For those who have watched my previous video, this monologue might seem familiar from Maruki, given that it speaks to the unique bond between Joker and Akechi. But what I did not mention in the first video was the fact that it is Joker's subconscious desire to reunite with Akechi that led Maruki to manifest this reality, to give the two a fresh start. This specific scene reveals so much about the feelings that Joker has towards Akechi. We can see it in his hesitation and anxiety in his thoughts when asked to choose between going back to the true reality or remain in the ideal reality. As a little interjection, I want to talk a little bit about the game that I played, the original release of Persona 5 Royal. In the third semester, there's a line that's been said that's been poured over again and again, which can essentially be coded as a romantic confession. This isn't small potatoes. This might not seem like much to an English audience, but interestingly enough, according to Akechi, it likely references a well-known Russian proverb, "Love is not a potato," and a line from Chekhov's play, "Death is not a potato." They explain that this line reveals that Joker's love for Akechi is not inconsequential, or something that he couldn't just let go of. As a double entendre, Joker's response references the original proverb and the line from Chekhov's play, hence, potatoes rather than potato. In other words, it's a love confession wrapped up neatly in an idiom born from a proverb. They changed this line in May 2020, however, this analysis is still interesting to think about nevertheless. It is clear that Joker shares a unique, romantically coded, or at least intimate bond with Akechi, separate from the rest of the Phantom Thieves. In the bad end of the game, we get the art dubbed "A Reality Without Pain," with the description, "A glimpse of a happy world made into reality." What could that pair be looking at? While the others laugh along as Futaba grabs for Yusuke's snack and Ryuji pushes Yusuke to stop him from crushing him, Joker and Akechi are situated near the bar, both peering at the camera. Joker brews Akechi a cup of coffee in a new reality without hardship or sorrow, in a happy world. But let's move back to reality. In the true ending, Joker is met with the heart-wrenching realization that Akechi has passed, after he asks Lavenza what happened to Akechi, and is met with the line, "Everything will return to how it should be." Everything. Joker's thoughts stutter before the player is given another choice to ponder the path that he has taken, and the regrets that linger. March 19th, the final day of Persona 5 Royal, Joker can approach the Jazz Gin and speak with the owner. In this location, characteristic of the bond the two shared, he holds the glove which he left in his pocket. He remembers their promise left unfulfilled and reaffirms himself that his fight, or rather their connection, is not yet over. Just before the train departed, he looked out the window once again and saw Akechi. Joker is still thinking of him. Like the Akechi video, we arrive at the same place, the music of the game. In that video, I discussed no more what-ifs in terms of Akechi's story. Our Light, the true ending theme of the game, is, however, the pinnacle of showing this bond that they shared. It carries the deep, heart-rending sorrow of Joker, knowing that Akechi will be gone when he wakes up. In the lyrics, it suggests that Joker remains dreaming about him, locking eyes and clasping his warm hands. These dreams signify this bond, or this light, is something that Joker will carry with him in the future, with the knowledge that they will never meet again. And it also shows that it is something that he is pained to leave behind. The lyrics resemble the scene in LeBlanc of Joker and Akechi making that grave decision. Akechi is the one who silenced him when he faltered, and nearly chose to remain in the sweet, sweet fairyland of the distorted world where they could meet. And Akechi is the one who stated that he wanted to choose a path for himself, rather than be confined to the ideal reality. The connection is clear. The song ends with Joker affirming that his future, one where he will seize the starry sky, will remind him of Akechi, or as the lyric reads, "Our light forever and ever." Even if this video fails to convince you of Joker's sexuality, I hope to have brought you a good case study of Joker and Akechi's relationship from Joker's perspective. It is clear that they are more than rivals, and far more than just friends. They are something more. As I mentioned earlier, if you like videos like this and would like to see more in the future, please consider subscribing and dropping a like on the video. It goes a long way in terms of supporting the channel. Alright, I'll see you next time.